Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Kathy Fitzmaurice from the Central Office, and I'll be your host for today's webinar, The Power of the Inbox, Tips and Tricks for Successful Email Marketing. Your microphones and telephones are currently muted to eliminate background noise during the program. We will take questions at the end of the presentation. To ask a question, type it into the question box on your control panel, or if you have a working microphone, raise your hand by clicking on the hand icon and I'll unmute you. Today's program is being recorded and will be available through WebMQS in the Shared Resources section. So let's get started. I'm very pleased to introduce Erik Bunaes, Constant Contact Authorized Local Expert and owner of Endorphin Advisors. Welcome, Erik.
Great. Thank you very much, Kathy. I appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. So we're going to talk about the power of the inbox today, some tips and tools for successful email marketing. And we're going to kick this off real quickly. And I think some of you probably know that Constant Contact and the SBDC have kind of a national relationship, so we are partners together, and we appreciate our relationship very much. So I'm based in Albany, and I'm an independent business owner, but I have a contract with Constant Contact, and I go around the state of New York and teach classes just like this, and I've been doing this since 2012. And so I do this because this is great information, and so it's very important that small businesses understand the value of digital marketing, whether it's email, social, and that kind of thing. So just real quickly, so you have a little background of what I do, or where I come from, is I am a New Yorker originally, but I did also spend about 15 years in Silicon Valley in California, working in the tech industry and marketing, and then I started my own business back in 2005, Endorphin Advisors, and then I moved back to Albany, moved back to the East Coast in 2011. And this is, you can see kind of what we do. We really focus on this kind of work, and so you can just kind of see that real quick. So just so you have an idea of what we do. So we want to talk about that first impressions matter, and I think you all know that from your lives and in business, that first impressions are very important, and you can't make a first impression twice. So for our business, that first impression matters. And so, do you want online, do you want that first impression of your business to be this text version on the left, or perhaps something more visually appealing of something on the right? And of course, that's a rhetorical question because, in today's day and age, people just don't have much time when they're looking at their email. Their email box, and most of the time, it is very, very valuable property. We all get too many emails. We often are looking at our emails in a mobile device, our cell phone. And if we're getting something from somebody that we don't know, or something new coming into our email box, we're going to look at it very suspiciously, and if it doesn't just hit the mark right away, or it doesn't have any branding like that, we're going to be really quick to delete it, and we're going to be quick to perhaps hit unsubscribe or spam. And so, we need to make a very good impression quickly and capture them, and, we need to do that visually. And, even with something like the one on the right, I'm a big cyclist, so something like that, will capture me. They may not read everything about it, but they at least go, wow, great, cycling. Okay, well, I I may not read it all, but at least I go, okay, well, these guys are here and they're cycling stuff, so that's great. I'll let them go stay in my inbox. I'm not going to unsubscribe from this because I like cycling, and I'll just let that come in, and we'll a shot and see if they send me good stuff, or if they start to send me too much stuff, then I'll perhaps have to think about unsubscribing from this. Okay, so we want to make sure that we don't have people sending too many text-based emails, and if there are still people out there that are using their Gmail or their Outlook and just trying to send emails to people that they don't really know, and it just doesn't really do a whole lot for them. Okay, so when we talk about email marketing, and perhaps not in this group here, but when we talk about email marketing to the layperson who is not really a marketing expert, we want to make sure they have the right impression of this. We're not really talking about sales online. What we're really talking about is delivering professional email communications to an interested audience containing information that the recipient finds valuable and that looks great in any inbox. Now, this is really important. So we're not trying to spam people, we're not trying to sell things all the time, and we're not trying to confuse them or anything like that. So professional email communication, so we're sending things that, we're being transparent, this is who we are, this is how you can reach us. When we say something, it's professional, we're being respectful, we're being straightforward. We're sending it to an interested audience. So we're not buying lists of email addresses, we're not just scouring the web and grabbing email addresses, we're not things like that. Okay, so it's our customers, it's people who have given us their addresses, it's those kinds of people that we want to put on our email list because they are interested. And then the even better is if we can segment our lists into more specific targeted groups, then we are going to be more successful with our email marketing. So that's very important that we are targeting our emails to an interested audience. Okay, and then they are emails that are containing information that the recipient finds valuable. So again, sounds obvious, but if you're sending things just that you want them to know, but they're not interested in, then it's just not going to work. Okay, so you've got to, everybody says, you got to walk a mile in your customer's shoes, or, to use a commonly used phrase there. You've got to share information in email or in social media or in your marketing material that is meeting the needs of your customers, things that they find informative and valuable and interesting. Okay, and then the last part of this is email marketing is stuff that looks great in any inbox. So we need to make sure that your email templates are mobile responsive so that they look good on your computer, but they also are mobile responsive designs that look good in a smartphone or in a tablet or other mobile device. Okay, so this is really important. Again, we're not using all text, we're not just spamming people, we're using captivating images, great colors, and all of that. Okay, this is important stuff. So when we talk about email marketing, we want to know what does it do for us and how will it be used. And it's very, very good for boosting repeat business, because customers of ours already know us. They've already bought from us. So targeting and keeping in touch with our current customers is probably the best use of email marketing. Okay? And by the way, Kathy is going to give me your email addresses, and I will send you these slides, so at least you have, and I will only send you that one email, I promise, so that you will have these, you can reference them, and you can have this information at your reference. So the other, another very good use of email marketing is that you can create and increase awareness of your business. So, you know, some of your customers may not buy from you right at the moment, or they may not be ready to buy from you right now, but it's good to get in front of them and increase the awareness of what you do, and to educate them on the process of what you do. And that may be relevant also to increase the awareness of you with your business partners, right? That may be referring business to you. Okay, so that's another very good use. So another one is to drive revenue and profit in a specific way, meaning to your current customers, you may be able to use it to give them sort of specific offers, and that may be a good use of email too. Okay, it's, you know, hey, you're already a customer, here's something else you might want, and so you can then drive revenue and profit to them as well. But you're not really going to sell products or services to people that don't know you just via email. You know, we all know that generally speaking, you're not going to make a sale unless you're in front of people, you know, person to person. People buy from people. So, you know, driving revenue and profit is really going to only work with your current customers. Okay. All right. So here's that was sort of a preface for what we're going to talk about here. So we're going to kind of get in here. So, you know, again, the #1 app on cell phones is really the email app. Okay, and I think most of you probably know that, you know, people just use email, you know, all the time on their phone. This is kind of a disgusting statistic that more people own a cell phone than own a toothbrush. I have no idea where they got that stat, but there you go. Something very tangible to learn today. So, you know, especially if your audience is another business, you know, those people are obviously on email every day that they're in work, and they're checking their email very often. So it's very dependable. They check their email often. They're often checking their email on their smartphone, and it's a very dependable way to get to it, get to people. Okay. The ROI, or return on investment, of email is very significant. And why is that? Because it's very inexpensive. So you can reach a lot of people for a very low cost. So email still works very, very well. You know, people always talk about social media, but email works probably better than social media. Okay, and really you should use both. Email and social media should work hand in hand. Okay, and again, we all know that repeat customers buy more. And I'm often amazed at how people always focus on finding new customers when they are not paying as much attention as they should to their existing customer base. Okay, so you want to keep educating your current customers and keep making sure that your current customers are buying as much from you as they possibly can, and make sure that they know all of the different services and things that you're doing, so that they can refer you to other potential customers. Okay, so it's good stuff. So again, some other things to show you why regular email does not work. And I think these are pretty obvious, but important, that there's a limited number of emails that you can send at one time. Obviously, there's no formatting control, there's no graphic control, there's no imagery, and there's no branding ability there. The other big point here is that there's no tracking and reporting of the email results. Once you send that, you may get some report saying, this person's no longer there or something like that, but you have no idea how many spam hits, how many people opened any links or anything like that. And that's where something like a constant contact, which gives you that ability to see the opens and clicks, especially, it really is valuable. Okay. So again, some of the things that make a constant contact more valuable is that you get the imagery, you get the branding ability, you get the ability to manage your lists and your email contact list. You get to, which is really, really important. And you get to manage your lists very quickly and easily. And again, you get the ability to see your email analytics and track your analytics and analyze those and very quickly and easily, which is very, very important, because then you can see, for example, if you wrote an article or did made some sort of offer in 1 month, and then the next month or something like that, you made a similar offer or wrote another article, and one gets a much higher click rate than another, then you know that your particular audience is getting, is much more interested in that particular type of article or offer, and now you're learning about your audience. So that's what we need to make sure our clients know about, and that's it. Because if we're just sending stuff out and we're not looking at the response of this, then we're not marketing. We're just spamming and sending out stuff, and we're not learning what our audience really wants. So we're not going to make improvements and get better at what we do. Okay, and that's really important. So now, how do we grow our list? And that's this is the next step of email marketing. Is okay, we create great content, but we got to create our lists. We have to grow our contact list, and it's all about where and how you ask for your email addresses. And yes, you've got to ask. So the best way to build this list is by permission marketing. So ask, can I put you on this list? Can I, we have a newsletter that we send every month. Can I put you on our list? You can always unsubscribe if you don't find the information useful. Do you mind if I do that? Okay. And then constant contact follows the CAN spam laws, which are the FCC guidelines, and forces its customers to comply with those laws. So all of Constant Contact's customers are abiding by the appropriate laws, and so those laws force transparency and show, so there has to be the physical address on the email of your business. There has to be an ability to unsubscribe from the email list and things like that. So, we want to make sure that we're asking for it, and here we'll go into more details about how to ask. So, up here on the left, you can see, okay, hey, we'll put a sign-up block on your website, and then image number 2 in the middle there is, okay, if you sign up for our email newsletter, and here's what you get. Okay, hit subscribe, here's what you get, and then that third one on the right is, thanks for subscribing to our newsletter. Here's something that you can get, as a thank you for signing up. okay? So we want to, ask, and we want to say thank you, okay? And it's all automated, okay? So other things, again, we want to merge the online and the offline. So, we want to make sure that we're asking for email addresses at events, at speaking engagements, on, when we pick up a bill or a check, we want to ask if we can get their email address. There's text to join features in Constant Contact. You can have the fishbowl at the trade show or at your office. Here's what the text to join feature looks like. So it's a very, it's a free thing you set up in Constant Contact, and you can have a sign like that in the middle where, it says, hey, subscribe here for $10 off or something like that. Just text this word, and you can create your own word, and it shows you on the right how that's done. And then they just give you a number. So you just say, hey, text this word to this number, and what happens is that when they text that, they get a text back that says, just give us your email address, and then we'll put you on our list, okay? And you define which list they get. So, and if you want to see how it works, you can just text endorphins to 42828, and you can see what happens. You'll end up on my email list. But that's how it works. And so, again, Constant Contact has all these tools built in to help your customers build that list. So there's even there's a form builder, so you can create forms to put on your websites. There's a simple plug-in tool that you can put onto your Facebook page, that literally like a one-click thing. So you can have a sign-up form that's on your Facebook page, and then you just say which list you want those people, those email addresses where they go, okay? All that stuff is in Constant Contact already. And then, again, don't forget to give them a reason to join your list, okay? And again, just like the hospitality industry, they're great at saying, okay, join our, special, program, and then here's what you get, okay? So, give them some reason to join your list. Give them something special, give them whether it's a VIP program or insider access or, white paper, e-guide, whatever kind of thing, okay? Give them something special, and it works, okay? People, remember, on the web and just in real life, people are always looking for a discount, a deal, or something special. Even if it's something small, they're always looking for something special, and then they'll join or they'll do something or something like that, okay? And it always works, okay? So now we've got sort of that stuff out of the way. Now we want to think about, okay, what kind of content do we want to share? So, we want to focus on being relevant, okay? So we want to think about, so let's go back to the bike industry, for example. So say we're a bike shop, okay? And, we want to share information. We don't always want to talk about, hey, buy a bike, right? Or buy biking gear, right? Because that's just sales. And sales will get annoying to the people that are reading the email. So we want to talk about stuff related to the biking industry, because so the bikers will be interested in. So that could be upcoming group rides. It could be bike race information. It could be nutrition information or training information. So you want to share that kind of information, so the people that are getting the emails are interested in that, and so they'll look forward to your email so that they've got this information that they're really interested in. And then you can also say, hey, we're come into the shop and, maybe get a discount or whatever, then you can have something else as well. Here's some new gear we have, here's some other services, here's maybe a coupon or whatever it is. But you've got to give them some other information to make the email worthwhile. And it can't just be sales and discounts and pitching product. Okay? And then you got to figure out how much is enough. Okay? If you don't have enough content, it's just going to be, oh, they're sending me a coupon. Great. I'm going to not be opening that email because it's not enough. But if you're sending giant, huge amounts of information, people are going to go, oh my gosh, I just don't have time to read this. So, there's some balance in there where, there's a few pieces of information, but not too much. Okay. The other thing is turn questions into content. So you're gonna, every business gets a lot of the similar types of questions from their customers or their prospects. How much, how much does it cost to get started with you? Who comes to you? Who are your right kind of customers? Whatever it is. And those are great types of questions to turn into content. Here are the 5 types of customers that come to us, or here, things like that. So that's great content. And then remember, images are content too. So the more that we can use images or create our own images that kind of tell our story or show a day in the life of our business and make them, engaging and perhaps entertaining, that's the type of content that really will draw people to us. Okay. And remember, it's not always about you, but it's about what you know and what you have access to. That's really important. Okay. Okay, we kind of talked about this, right? Make sure you're writing for your audience and not for you. Okay. And then we just want to make sure that, here are some statistics here, we do want to make sure that, we know that people unsubscribe if your newsletter is boring, and they will send it to the spam box if it's irrelevant. And so these are, we've got to make it interesting and engaging, and we've got to target our lists as much as possible. We've got to segment our lists as much as possible to homogeneous groups if we can. Okay? So I think the days of just saying, okay, let's take all our emails and put them into one big list and send one email to all of them, those days are, I think, kind of fading out. And the more we can segment our emails into smaller groups, the better we're going to be. Okay. So I kind of talked about this, turn your questions into content. So, for a plumber, how do I ensure my pipes won't burst this winter? You could say, hey, here's 5 ways to protect your pipes from freezing. Bullet lists or, numbered lists of, top 5 ways here, top 3 things this, top 10 things this. Those are great things, great ways to create content because, as we know, people, especially with their email, they have limited attention span. And so, a bulleted list like that or a numbered list like that tells them, hey, here's 5 things, here's 3 things, here's 7 things. And so that tells them, here's only a couple of things. You can get through this. They can, just scan through this, okay? And that's a really good way to write content, okay? And then obviously we communicate through images. The common practice is any image, either on an email or even in social or on your website, it should be clickable. So people kind of expect to see, if there's an image somewhere, they kind of expect to be able to click on it and go somewhere else. So we want to make sure that that is the case. And we don't want to disappoint, so we want to take advantage of that. So if there's, like in this example, that great vacation retreats there, often on the top, if we click on something there, that will often go to their home page, right? But you could also say, well, maybe you're running a special on a particular Caribbean vacation there, or Kauai. Excuse me. Maybe you want to make that a landing page or an order form or something like that, and they click right on that and go straight to the landing page or order form. Okay. So you want to think about that. The other thing that you want to make sure that you give people a limited number of choices, if you are giving people a number of choices. Okay. So we all know that, right? If you give people 1,000 choices, they won't be able to make a choice, but if you give them just 3 choices, then you have a much better chance of them actually making a decision. Okay. So, there are a couple things about working with photos. We want to make sure that we've got sort of the right sizes. We want to make sure that we avoid copyright issues. I don't know if you know this, but there's the copyright of photos is becoming much more of an issue out on the web now. So people are going out to Google Images, for example, and just using any image they find, and now they're getting sued. Particularly Getty Images is suing everybody and anybody that is using their images improperly. So we want to make sure that we let people know to be very careful about that. There's a lot of free image sites out there that you can find stock photos, or better yet, just create your own photos. Okay. So it's a very good idea to create a content calendar, especially if you're working with multiple people. So we do this for our clients. We create a content calendar, and whether it's for emails or social media, and we kind of plan things out, and list things so that we can show and review and plan what we're going to post. And then it also helps to be able to review and know what you have posted, because then you can sort of keep in mind what type of information you've talked about in the past, and what you can then make sure that you're talking about different kinds of subjects going forward. And it also helps you plan things. So now is September 27th. Halloween's coming up, and then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then year end, and then the beginning of the year. So you can start to plan and say, okay, I need something for the year end, and so now, okay, what are we going to do for year end? What are we going to do for Halloween? What are we going to, so it helps you kind of create that content, get organized, and that's a great little tool. Once you really start creating a lot of content, it really is a fantastic tool to be able to keep yourself organized. And again, if you've got multiple people involved in the process of creating emails or creating social media, and perhaps you've got people that are different people that are creating content, and somebody maybe somebody else is approving the content, some other people are distributing the content, and things like that. There needs to be somewhere to be able to keep it all in one place and manage it. And this is a real good way to do that because it does get pretty overwhelming. Okay? And so this is what we just created, just this simple little thing in Excel. Okay? All right. So moving on a little bit from the content here, we want to make sure that we're branding things so that everything looks the same. You know, we want to make sure that if somebody looks at our business card, our email, our website, our social media things, that they all look similar, that they do not doubt that when they get an email from us that it looks just like our website, you know. And so we want to make sure that everything looks the same, that we're reinforcing our brand, and that we're using consistent language across all these platforms. And so we want to make sure that you have all of the same things, okay? Even on landing pages, we want to make sure our landing pages, which are, you know, standalone lead generation tools, we want to make sure that those are also the same branding. But landing pages are very different. They have no navigation on them at all. Their singular focus is on a particular offer, whether it's to generate a request for a demo, or request to download a guide or an ebook, or a consultation, or whatever it is. You know, we're trying to drive people to a landing page, and then what we want them to do is literally, like this is an example of our landing page to request a tour of Hootsuite. There's no navigation on this page. The only thing that they can do when they get to this page is that they can look at this. There's a video there, and then the only thing they can do is either give us their contact information and request a tour, or they can leave the page and close it. There's no other links on that page or anything, and that's very intentional. All we want them to do is give us their contact information to request a tour. So landing pages are a very, very effective way to generate leads. And the better your offer is, the more effective, and people know that, hey, I'm going to get this ebook or a guide or something like that. The better your offer is, the more likely they'll do this, because they know, okay, they're going to market to me, they're going to call me, but the better your offer is, the more likely they'll go, okay, well, I really want that, and I'll give them my contact information. It really works. And so anyway, that's what that tool works. But again, you want to make sure that the branding all works. Okay, so how do we get our emails opened? So here's sort of this is more for sort of a consumer-focused business. So this is a yoga studio. But here's kind of a little sort of recipe for success. So we very much want to go today, in today's day and age, we want to stick to a single column template. Okay, we don't want to go with sort of a 2-column template. Those we used to do that, but now, since many people are opening their emails in their phones, we really want to just maximize the space. So now we're using a single column template. In consumer-oriented things, we want to use fewer than 3 images. And part of that also, remember, when people are opening your email in a phone, in many cases, the images are not automatically downloaded. Okay? But we do want to capture their attention with a good image. And then we want not that much text, okay? We want a nice bright button, we want our logo prominently there, and we not want some short, concise text. Now, I don't want to dissuade you from writing longer text. So writing longer blog articles or longer, pieces of information. But in your email, it should be short. And then you say, you put a link and you say, continue reading or read more. And then you put the rest of it on your website or on your blog. And then, because again, if you put too much text in the email here, people are going to not even start reading it because they'll say, I don't want to start reading that. But if there's just a little bit of email in the start of your article, you might capture their attention. They'll start reading it and they'll go, wow, that's really good. I want to read the rest. And then they'll click to read more. Okay, so that's really important. So again, I just don't want to dissuade you from writing longer articles because again, people use their phone and the web and their computers for finding out more information. But they shy away from, in the email, from longer emails. Okay, if that makes sense. All right. Again, few links in your email. Okay. And then even if there's a key action that you want them to take, like in this one that we're saying sign up today, if you can, make that above the scroll line. So you don't want people having to scroll way down to the bottom to get to that button. Okay? So again, here we want to make sure that we can give them four reasons to pay attention. They're obviously going to look at who sent the email. So we want to make sure in Constant Contact you can put your name and the name of your company. And we want to put a very compelling subject line. That's what they're looking at. Okay, why should I read this? Okay, so the subject line is really important. And then make sure it's good timing when you're sending this email. So we want to make sure we understand when is a good time to send this. And then, we want to make sure that we can make it easy to share. All right. So I just kind of talked about this. I'm going to have to speed up a little bit because we're running a little bit short of time. Okay. So I said that make your from name and from email address recognizable, right? Again, we don't want to, use spam terms and all capital letters and excessive punctuation and all that sort of stuff. And then a lot of those terms on the right will get us caught in the spam filters, so we don't want to, want that to happen. And this is talking about some of the words in the subject line. We want to make it short, very short, 4 to 7 words if possible, very clear, concise. Why should you open this? Okay. We want to, again, if we can test when we're sending emails, that's great. So, perhaps send the same email and split our list in 2 and do an A/B test and send it at 2 different times and see which gets the best open rate. That will be great. And again, so the best reporting, the most important reporting is really the click-through rate. That is the most. It's not, the open rate is good, that's important, but the click-through rate is really important. We want to know what makes people click on something. And that is what is really important. So we want to measure the clicks. So every Constant Contact, whenever you put a link in your email, Constant Contact will automatically track all the clicks on your emails and will keep that data. Okay? And this just sort of goes through the pros and cons of the different metrics. But again, the click-through rate is really what you want to measure the most. Okay, open rate is very important. All right, and this is sort of what your metrics look like. So in the report section down in the left column there, you can see it will track the sent, the opened, the clicked, the spam reports, the bounced, meaning that a bounce, it means that the email did not reach the inbox for any particular reason, whether the address was not correct, whether the inbox was full, whether the inbox was not existing. Okay, then you have the unsubscribed and the did not opens. Okay, and then whenever there's the links shows you how many clicks and all that. Okay, so the analytics in Constant Contact are incredible in terms of what data you can see of what happens to the emails. Okay, so real quickly, this is I added this in specifically because this is really important. So autoresponder emails. So Constant Contact has a automatic email capability, okay? And so there's a couple of ways to use this, and I'll show you exactly, but I'll explain what it is first. So you can set up in Constant Contact a drip marketing campaign, okay, and where it will send out a series of emails, okay, in sequence, and it could be any number of emails. This sequence happens to be 6 emails, and so it can either be automated where, you know, it could go from sort of a lead capture form, so maybe somebody has an e-commerce website, and if somebody buys something, then those people can automatically be put into this lead capture form, and then it gets to a thank you page, and then it gets automatically triggered to this email sequence. Or it could be just a separate email list that you add whenever you add an email address into that email list, then it triggers the email series to start. Okay, so very, very powerful system, and this I think is the single most underutilized capability in Constant Contact. So that's what it is. They call it the autoresponder system. Okay, so that's a 6-step drip marketing plan. Those are 6 steps. Okay, here's the more complicated one, or a more in-depth plan. So this is a 3-stage lead nurturing plan. Okay, so this one has 3 series of 3 emails, then it goes to a special offer and a landing page. Okay, so that's just another what it looks like. Okay, so you could do it something a little bit more sophisticated. Okay, and then here's 5 examples of how you might use this automated autoresponder email system. Okay, so showcasing products complementary to a recent purchase. So if somebody came to your e-commerce website and bought something, you might send them a couple of emails and say, you know, hey, here's some other products. Okay, some of the other products we sell. Or somebody came to your website and said, you know, and downloaded, you know, something on your website, then you could send them a series of emails saying, you know, here are some of the products and services about our company, right? Or if you brought on a new customer, then you could say, okay, here's some of this, you know, thanks for being a new customer, and here's, you know, some stuff about being a new customer. Okay, so onboarding new customers. Number 4 is for nonprofit organizations, maybe for donors or something like that, you could send them a series of emails that provides information about your services, success, photos of the people you help, and the use of the funds after you receive a donation. Okay? And then the last one, which I think is probably the most powerful, is after a salesperson meets with a potential customer, okay, so think of perhaps like insurance sales, right? So they go and call on a business owner or something, and he says, great, not quite ready to switch to you, but call me in 6 months again or something like that. Then he can go back to the office, or she can go back to the office, put that person into this automated drip campaign, and then send a series of emails that kind of just keeps in touch with that customer over the next 6 to 9 or 12 months or whatever it is, to just say, hey, thanks for meeting with me. Here's a little more about our company here, and sends a series of emails. But this is just, it's automating post, contact, and it's an unbelievable system, and a lot of people don't know how to use it, but there it is. Okay, so just to kind of wrap up here and let us get off the call on time here. So and again, this, I know that, but this is really for your customers, but your clients, but email. To get started with email marketing, we want your customers to just get started with email marketing, even if your list is very small. Even if it's 5, 10, 20 people, that's good enough. I would rather have a small list of contacts that are you really know and you like, and they like you, and they trust you, and they're your customers, and they really want to help you, rather than a list of 500 people that don't know you. Because all those people, that 500 that don't know you, when they get your email, they're going to unsubscribe, and they're never going to hear from you again anyway. Okay, so I'd rather have a really small list that's going to get your emails, they're going to read them, they're going to share them with people, they're going to keep learning about your company, and that's going to be much more valuable. So a small list is better than a big bad list. Okay, so create and send one email campaign. Just get started. I can't tell you how many times I sent out an email and an email newsletter, and every single time I send out an email, somebody responds and just says, hey, I've been thinking about you, thanks for the email, I have a question. People respond to the email just because it happens to be in their email and in their inbox, and they go, oh yeah, I was just thinking about you. And it's just the easy response to go, oh yeah, I was just thinking about you. Have you met this person? Or, hey, your email spurred a question that I have about something I'm working on, or whatever it is. So just get started, and it works tremendously well. And then again, watch what happens with what you are sending, okay? And then do more of what works. So look at those clicks and see what customers are clicking on, and do more of what is working well. Okay? So here is sort of like a little cheat sheet email, what a good email looks like. And again, this is a little bit more sort of consumer focused, a little bit more of a consumer focused email than what I would call a business to business focused email, because a yoga studio is a little bit more B2C than B2B. Okay, but that's a good checklist for you. Okay, so just to wrap up here, final thought. So small business marketing is all about nurturing relationships, delivering on your promise, and getting measurable results. And Constant Contact will help you do that. Okay? So you can do it. Okay? So I know I'm not selling to you guys, and I'm not, this isn't for you, but I want you to have this capability to be able to give this to your customers, and I want to give you guys a special offer that you can give your customers. So I want to give you this special offer. So if you have a customer that wants to get started with Constant Contact, I will take care of them personally, and we'll give them our email marketing starter package for free if they sign up at startccnow.com. Okay, so oh, and they can also sign up for a free trial account there or go to the other place. But what this is I basically set up their whole account, do all this stuff for them, help them get that first email out, do an hour of consultation with them. We usually charge $99 for this account, this package for people, but for you, with our special relationship with SBDC, we'll do this anytime you refer somebody to me and they buy an account from me. I will give them to this free, and as a thank you for our special relationship, and I very much appreciate it, and I hope you don't mind that I kind of made that pitch to you. So I will send these slides to you so you have that, and we're just a couple minutes before 11. So Kathy, are there any questions?
There is a question. Does Constant Contact work with Facebook Messenger, specifically to set up the automated event-driven emails?
That's a good question. I'm not sure I'm not quite sure where you're going with that question.
Jennifer, can you give a little more information on that?
So, perhaps meaning that if they start with a Facebook Messenger and say...
Here, hold up. Jen, I've unmuted you, so...
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Just if someone contacts the business with Facebook Messenger, is there a way to set up the template similar to an email to email them back on Facebook Messenger? Or is this just for email communications?
No, it's just for email communications in that respect. It's not, you can only share your emails out onto social media. That you can't communicate directly through Facebook Messenger like that, unfortunately.
Okay, thanks.
That's a great question, though. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. We have another question. Could you please give a case example of how or when the 3-lead nurturing plan was used?
Oh, the 3-stage lead nurturing?
Right.
Yeah. Well, it would be offering 3 different products. So, you know, for example, we would do that where we would offer, you know, Constant Contact first, and then we would offer them Hootsuite next, and then we would offer them a CRM platform third. So, and that's in response to when people ask us for social media help. And it's something that it works well when people ask for something very specific, and when your products and services are related like that, and you have offers that are similar, and then that works quite well. Another way to do it would be to offer informational. So perhaps you offer a product trial, and then the second thing might be either a consultation or an ebook or something like that as a second or a third. So, you know, they might buy something, but then a second or a third stage thing might be an ebook download or a guide download where if they download that, then you are giving them good information, and they're going to then read that and know that you have more expertise in something else, and that would work quite well as well. So, and some industries lend themselves much better to that, you know, knowledge-based industries. But even industries that are not what you might consider knowledge-based industries, and I'm thinking particularly about like landscaping or something like that, where you might offer something about, here's 10 tips to keep your lawn, to get your lawn in shape for spring, or things like that. Those would be fantastic download kind of tips,
Great, thank you. Thank you for those questions, Jen and Andrea. Does anybody else have any questions or any comments? All right, I don't see any more coming in, so we'll go ahead and wrap up. Erik, thank you so much for presenting today, and thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me, and if anybody has any questions, please don't